Hey, it's Chris Foley.
Hey, it's Chris Beyer. CB, we've got a special guest with us in focus, Bryce from the Waste Commission of Scott County. Good morning. Thanks for
Morning.
hopping on with us.
Morning, guys. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're excited to interview you this morning, learn a little bit about your background with the Waste Commission and some of the new things happening there within the organization. But let's talk about you. What's your background? How did you get here? And I know you just received a new job title and promotion. Congrats on that.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, recently, over these just 2 weeks ago, I think, moved into the executive director role for the Waste Commission of Scott County. A little bit of background. So went to college and majored in conservation, environmental science, also minor in business administration. After college, needed somewhere to go. And out of coincidence, actually, when I was a senior in high school, I worked for the landfill for the Waste Commission of Scott County, basically doing all the work that most people don't want to do, crushing tires and rims and being very hands-on with waste. So when I went to college, never, ever thought I'd be back. But the Waste Commission had an environmental science role open. And so it was kind of a weird fit. I knew some people. Ended up back here right after college, and then I did work for the DNR for a couple years through college.
Oh, neat.
Gained a little more experience, and but came back to the Waste Commission and quickly found that this was my home. When I was in high school, I didn't realize everything they did, and I was just so in the weeds. I didn't know what was going on.
Just you and the tires. You didn't understand the full scope.
Me and tires and rims and garbage and exactly. So as we went through as I went through these last 14 years with the Waste Commission, had a number of different roles. I was in charge of business waste at the landfill for many years. Before that, in my environmental science role, I collected hazardous material and packaged that material up. Moved into some safety roles, helping with safety training throughout the commission. And then moved into more of like management operations of our recycling facilities. So I kind of converted from landfill to recycling. So we have multiple recycling facilities. I managed those, moved into a deputy director role here within the last year, and then it brings me today. So we're in an executive director role for the Waste Commission now.
What a great story.
That is awesome. Yeah, I mean, and you've touched all parts of it too. When you think about now being able to lead the organization, that you've had a hand in all those different operations. That's got to be a key component. So we say Waste Commission of Scott County. That's a lot of words. Like who are you as far as an organization? And we've talked about landfill, we've talked about hazardous waste, we talked about recycling, but how do you serve the community?
Sure. We are a 2080 organization. So we're essentially in this really weird middle. We're a governmental entity that has to operate like a private business. So we are not funded by any tax dollars, any direct tax dollars at all. We have to supplement ourselves by the tipping fees at our facility and also the sale of recyclable commodities. So who we are and what we do, I mean, we are here to manage waste and recycling for Scott County. And we go well beyond Scott County. And when we do that, the purpose is to further benefit Scott County and to keep Scott County residents and business fees as low as possible. And also, we're here to be that environmental steward. Every community needs a landfill. It's like if you ask mayors or any large leaders of communities, cities, states, they're like, you have to have that for multiple reasons. Wow. So that's kind of who we are in a very big picture and what we do. We do facilities we operate. We started off with a landfill. We were organized in 1972. We have an electronics recovery center where we recover electronics from Scott County and all over the world. And we reuse them. We have an eBay store. And then in the end, we recycle them. We follow a waste hierarchy of first trying to reuse material, then recycle it, and then landfill is our last. We operate a large single stream recycling facility. We touch 25 counties throughout Iowa and Illinois, about a 2-hour radius around us. We process. And then, of course, we have our household hazardous material facility, which basically services our region directly around Scott County.
Yeah. You've definitely grown too in the last, decade, especially by capacity of what you do, how much you're processing, but also your employee count too. You've grown the team significantly.
Yep.
In addition to just being kind of that unique quasi-governmental entity, you've got a great culture of team. You want to talk a little bit about that? I guess what makes working at Waste Commission unique, especially for your employees and the team?
Yeah, we are our team's amazing. When I started, I think we had 20, I think I was the 22nd person, and now we're over
Yeah.
70. So we grew and we had to figure out we were like a mom and pop place when we were 20.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when we quickly expanded to 70, 75 roughly, it was like we still wanted to be that. And we had to figure out how to make that work just with more people and multiple locations. COVID threw a wrench in things, obviously, with
For sure.
we still had to operate all of our facilities, but weren't supposed to get too close to each other, you know. So I think, our focus has been on focusing on our community and our people, and not forgetting who we are and where we came from. So I think the most unique part about the Waste Commission is every day we are working to essentially put ourselves out of business. And we struggle with that. Our goal, and it's also law, we have to divert as much from our landfill as we can. And the landfill is where like revenue comes in to support all of our other facilities.
Sure.
So now our goal has been moving towards our diversion programs, all of our recycling programs being able to sustain themselves. But companies have a really hard time wrapping their heads around that there's a cost to everything and that there's a cost to recycling.
Right.
So landfills can't just continue to pay for all those. So that's kind of our direction we're moving to.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, do you see a lot of change on that front in the next decade? I mean, can you forecast what's going to be different for the organization or I guess the industry?
Yeah, we're going to be focused. The industry, we're actively involved in federal legislation as well as state legislation, trying to make sure all voices are at the table. What we see happening is continued diversion. So they do what are called waste sorts throughout the state to determine what's the next item that we need to remove from landfills. Food waste and organics is really the next large thing on the list. Wow. Now, the way the Waste Commission is looking at that is we've recently partnered with Waga Energy, where we're going to be installing a system that we already have a system that captures our methane, which is the gas from landfills. Sure. But currently it's flared. It's just burnt. We're going to be installing here in the next 18 months a facility that captures that methane and then pumps it back into the natural gas pipeline. We'll be able to heat 3,000 to 4,000 homes annually.
Wow, that's really cool. Yeah, I mean that's just innovation because you see that as you drive past any landfill. You've got the flame just going all the time, but it's got to go somewhere. That's really cool. Well, Chris, as we're wrapping up, I know you've got your favorite question you want to ask Bryce. We'll see how this one goes. So.
All right, Bryce, you've had a long day or a good day, right? Or a long week or a good week. Is there a motto that grounds you, that just resets your day, that says, all right, tomorrow's going to be better?
Yes. Usually my wife is my speaker to that. I'll just calm down. But no, a motto is focus on the people. And it seems so simple, but when I get caught up in everything that's going on around us, and I can ground myself by saying, how are our people? What are we doing? We really try to focus on who they are and what they do, not just with inside work, but outside. And it kind of gets to something else that my dad taught me. And I'll edit this down so the words used aren't not like so explicit. But essentially, when I was a young kid, I like to talk too much or talk back to my family. And he would tell me, never be afraid to just shut up and listen. And I've really taken that. It's a goal of mine. I have to remind myself of that, that most people just want to be heard. And we've got some of our best ideas, at the Waste Commission from our people. From every single position. So
I love it.
Yeah,
that's a great quote to be able to take from your family as well, and just apply that. So that's awesome. Good advice to hear. So.
Yes, thank you for sharing.
Definitely.
Well, good to have you this morning. Congrats again on the new role, and excited
Yeah.
to see where the Waste Commission goes with your leadership.
Appreciate it. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thank you,
Thanks so
bro.
much.
All right.